back to another movie review. Today we are doing another movie streaming review, and this is Freelance. Yes, Freelance is a new Amazon Prime movie here in the UK, starring John Cena, and it is directed by Pierre Morel. Now, when I was looking into Pierre Morel, I was like, I've heard of that name before. I've said his name in a video before. That's right. He has directed Taken. Now, Taken is obviously one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion, in terms of like action movies. It is. It's up there. But that's as far as it goes. So I was going into Freelance thinking, oh my god, this guy's directed Taken, this is going to be really good. John Cena's really like funny, it's just going to have like a comedic side to it, but hopefully it's not too much and it's a bit more serious like Taken. No, it was definitely like a comedy. I wouldn't even say this was an action movie. This was like trying to be a comedy movie, which just wasn't funny. So as I did say about the cast, we do have John Cena, who plays Mason. We have Alison Brie, who plays Claire Wellington. Now, she is like the damsel in distress of the movie, but she's basically playing like this journalist who is in this dangerous country trying to get this story. We get Juan Pablo Araba, who plays the president in the movie. We get Alice Eve, who plays Jenny, who's actually John Cena's wife, Matt Mason's wife. But basically, John Cena's character Mason is like an ex-Navy SEAL, ex-Army special ops person, you know what I mean? Like he knows his stuff, you know? He basically was on a helicopter going to this island, and their job was to go and kill this president, which, funny enough, is the president that's actually in the story throughout the entire film. And as he's like being abseiled down from the bottom of the helicopter, his entire team gets wiped out because the helicopter gets destroyed. So he decides, obviously, life's too short, like it's a traumatic event, I cannot do that, I need to pack it in basically, I need to quit, I've got a girl at home, I got a wife, got a child, I want to just go back to what he does, and he studied law, so he became like a lawyer. So we get to see him being in his like boring job, and then he gets a call up from one of his old colleagues who started like this business that like is all about like special agents and all that type of stuff again, and he gets a call to like basically chaperone this journalist who is played by Alison Brie, Claire. So she is there just trying to get a story, and as I said, the actual president she's interviewing and getting the story on is the president that is meant to have killed his team. So there's like a little bit of a backstory there. And that's the best part about the movie. I gotta say, like, the plot was pretty decent in terms of like setting something up. It was very clear, very like, this is what's gonna happen, this is this is that. The plot was very decent in my opinion. What wasn't decent was just the lack of everything else. There was no interest in the film. There was no humor really in the film. There was no joy in the movie. Do you know what I mean? It was just dull and bland. I think some of the good things about it though would have been things like maybe the actual use of like being on an actual set. Like you could tell it was like they were in a real jungle, there was real stuff going on, and I really liked that. But I do think like John Cena for me played a bit of like a peacemaker kind of role in this movie, and that type of humor was like brought across. I think this would have been totally different if it was, you know, that Taken-esque. You know, it may have become like a bit bigger, a bit more mystery to it, but it was nothing like that. It was just trying to be this comedy aspect of the film, and to be honest, none of the jokes really landed with me. The funny thing is, this film is basically a rehash of The Lost City, which obviously is the one starring Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock that we got at the end of or beginning of last year. So it is very similar in that sense. They go to an island, there's a girl just like, oh my god, like very different in terms of she's like the author and that, but yeah, it was just that basically rehashed. As I will say though, like rating the movie, what am I going to score it? I actually gave it a 2-star because, like I said, the plot I thought was pretty decent and pretty set up for something pretty decent and good to actually happen. What didn't happen was what happened, and nothing happened really. There were some good action scenes in there. There was like an actual helicopter that was like chasing them, and there was some good sweeping shots and stuff in there. I really appreciated that. But the end goal of the movie was just like a meh. There was nothing like, okay, what's happened next? Like, what was the purpose of it, you know? As I say, come with Pierre Morel, who obviously directed Taken, as I said, and that's like, you know, credit in itself. Like, this movie should have been a much better film in my opinion, but, you know, as I say, John Cena for me, I think probably was of the wrong casting, in my opinion, for this type of film. Funny enough, when we spoke about like Mark Wahlberg doing a comedy film the other week, I think this type of film would have been perfect for him, because he has that like lone survivor kind of edge to him, but I do think like his comedy isn't so like, you know, stupid and silly, whereas John Cena I think was a bit stupid and silly in this film, which works for things like Peacemaker, but I just think in this role it just didn't really fit for me. Obviously with these reviews I always say, is this film worth in the cinema? I am surprised it wasn't in the cinema, to be honest with you, but at the same time, the way it's reviewed, maybe the budget it had, it should have just gone straight to streaming, of course. But for me, I'm pretty okay with it. It's one of those films, you've seen it once, it's a TV type of film, and I'll probably never ever watch her again, but I've seen it once, and if I see her in Kex for £1, maybe I'll buy it. But that's it. That's as far as it goes. So there it is, guys. There is my Prime Video streaming review of Freelance. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you seen it? Are you going to see it? Let me know, of course. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you in the next one.